All right, let's go to the second part. So we uploaded the raw data. And for data warehousing, you have multiple files. In this case, we have just one. And now we're going to look at the data, identify which one are the data that has measurement and which one are the dimensions. I'm going to go and have a way around here. I'm going to right click, show a script, create two, new query window. And in here, I have this table. I'm going to use regular notepad. And here I can see the dates here. I'm going to use edit, replace. Okay, so let me go step by step. If you look for the architecture, what I'm doing is I'm using so here in the bottom, let's go look at the architecture. We have the basic architecture that is a combination of multiple files. We are centralizing the data in the data warehouse, and then we can create analysis, reporting, and mining. So that's the basic. Now we have another type of architecture with the staging table. And what is a staging table? A staging table for me, right? I like to use it because it's a way to centralize the data, look at the data, cleanse the data before you upload it to the repository. Before you combine data for multiple areas, you put the data in a staging table. Temporary is not a temporary, but you put it in a table so you actually can grab the data from one container. So it's an extra step. And then you can do analysis, reporting, and mining. For this project, for this, we are going to use the stage area. So we're going to go here and using the stage table in our design. So we already uploaded the data from our flat file, and now we're going to create a container. And here's my container. I'm going to call this, instead of raw data, is stage table. Or you can call it stage global retail. You might have multiple stage tables in your design, so be concise, be precise, and unique in the naming of your table. I need to give a key, and in here we're going to use the concept of natural key and surrogate key. So we're going to call this stage key, and I'm going to use uppercase K in all my design. Int. All right, so my key is going to be of the data type integer, int. And in here, this piece of code is saying that whenever the software, the platform, the MS SQL Server is going to populate the data, is going to add a key that's going to be auto incremented by 1 and is not null means none of the keys going to be empty. So it's going to have a key. It's not. In data warehouse, you cannot leave your data as not null. And why is that? Because if you put a restriction in your data, and in data warehouse, you move in data from one container to another, one table with data to another. If it is not null, it's not going to allow you to leave empty um, fields. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to add them for the ones that I need it back. So I'm going to put the not and I'm going to replace with here. So I took the non-null out of everything, and in here, I'm going to put that non-null again. All right, everything else should be null. Okay, so I have all my data here. Perfect, this is my stage table. However, when you create the stage table, this is the next step. Maybe I should create one more here. All right, when you create the stage table, you need to add the foreign keys to the stage table. So when that keys are populated and incremented by the system for dimensions and fact, you can actually update them then in the stage table and use them to transport between tables. So you'll see how it works. But before we can go and do anything else, we had to add them. So how you do that? The first thing you need to do is we're going to grab everything. And the first table that we're going to create here is the fact table. Then the dim tables. All right. I'm going to put that. This is a fact table. Okay. So in here, I'm going to call this create fact. And I don't know the name of the fact table yet. And then parentheses and here. All right. The fact table has the foreign keys, and only has measurement. So if I go here and I had to take everything that's a varchar, anything that is a date, they're not measurements, right? So let's see. The postal code here is not a measurement, but I'll go in a minute. We'll have to change that. So let's see, category. I'm going to change this to float. Profit to float. And shipping cost. And the last one is priority. All right. So here I delete it. And I added, so this is about sales, quantity, and discount, profit, quantity, discount, profit, shipping cost. We're going to take the postal code because that's not an int. That's part of the location. Okay. Okay. So far. Okay. You can divide this in two tables. For the simplicity of this, I'm going to leave it one. But maybe sales, profit, quantity, and discount. Discount should be in the own fact table. Shipping cost. Shipping cost and quantity should be in the own fact table. But for the simplicity of this, we're going to fact sales. Okay, so I gave the fact sales and key. Make sure that I am using uppercase K here for all my design. Create fact sales. Okay, so that's the name of my table. I do have to add after this my foreign keys. All right, I'm going to go here again, and now I'm going to group my dims. Okay, let's see. So the source ID are going to live in all my tables because I'm going to use this for mapping the data from this table to the other ones. Order ID and varchar, order date. Okay, ship mode. Okay, customers and city, state, country, postal code, market. Okay, so for this, I need to look here to see what is my data saying. So order date, ship date, and order ID. So all of that three is part of one group, correct? Now, shipment customer, customer segment, city, all of that is about the customer so far. This is about the customer. Now, let me look here. State, country, market, US, region, product. Okay. And I have another one called product, money, profitship, and order priority. That's all part of the order too. Okay. The region is part of the customer, but it's okay. And the market, what is market here? Oh, that's part of, okay, that's not part of the product, it's part of the customer. Okay, so this is the dim product. So create dim product. Oof. So that's my table. And I need to add a key. And this is, and the ship mode is what is the ship mode is the type. Okay, so this is actually is not a product, is shipping. This is not about the product, is about the shipping. Okay, so create dim shipping, and then I'm going to put here shipping key, and I'm going to copy from top here. And okay, I have my shipping key. Now here, since this is going to be connected to the fact table, I'm going to add here on top my first foreign key. And if you see, I'm adding it, but I'm not define them as a foreign key because I'm going to do all of that with the alter table, like you guys know. All right, so that's the next thing we need to do is add all of them here, all of the foreign keys that will be defined later on in the with the alter table. All right, so we need to add them anyway. Do I have my source ID? Yes. Now I'm going to copy this again. And I see that I have customers. So creating customer. And then is order date. So customer that in segment cities are going to market region and everything else delete, because this is all about the customer. And in here, here we had to add a key. I'm going to copy here and change the name. So this is going to be my customer key. And I'm going to use the source ID to map my tables with the stage table. So we're going to say, okay, customer ID and table stage equals customer ID in the source ID in the customer table. So we're going to use that to map, and the last one is here. Okay, so this one now I'm going to add it on my to my to my so this is my sales create uh, table table table. All right. So we did the shipping, the customer. Do we have something about the product? Customer product. Okay. I'm going to add another one here. It's going to be create table theme product. Correct? I'm going to copy everything again. I have source ID, going to delete. So here I'm going to, instead of customer, it's going to be a product. Product key, source ID. So we don't need anything for the customer all the way here. So we do need the product ID, the category, the subcategory, the product name. Now, sales quantity, profit, and shipping. No. And order priority is in here. The order priority actually doesn't belong in, let me see here, double check always. Order priority is in shipping, so it's not in product. So I'm going to go here in shipping, put a comma, and then paste it there. Perfect. And here in the bottom, we are going to delete this. And now we have one, we have fact table, we have shipping key, customer key, and we need to add the product key. So we have three tables. So we need to add here, the last one is product key. No. These ones are going to be foreign keys. This source ID is going to be used to map stage table and the fact and dimension tables. So all of your tables should have a source ID. So is your stage table. Great. So what is missing before we can move here? You see this fact, we don't need the fact one, but do you see the shipping, customer, and product key? All of them also need to be in the stage table. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. So I have, and make sure that all your data is null. The only thing that is not null is the key of the table. So the identity 1, comma 1 is the only one who is not null. See? Let's go double check. Yes, no null. Everything is null. Make sure that you change money for float and varchar. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, everything is 50, right? I'm just going to make my life simple. So I'm going to put 50 and I'm going to change that for max. So I'm going to replace it all. So now all my data, oh, cells is float. All my data is nvar chart max. All my money is float. Let's see, good. And in here, the same thing. I'm going to go view, replace. Everything is 50. I'm going to change to max. Everything that is money, I'm going to change to float. Replace, so money for float. Float. Make sure that money for float actually was none. Okay, date. I going before running this. I just going to float date and varchar was at the end. And varchar max. Everything is and varchar max, int and float. So perfect. So okay. So now that we identified the data for the stage, the data for the fact and shipping. I'm going to do one last thing before we move to the next video. I'm going to copy this fact table and I'm going to place in the bottom. Why is that? Because we had to first create the tables that do not have foreign key and then the tables who have foreign keys. So great. So I'm going to go, the next step is creating the tables.